Hi guys, welcome back to the Sullivan Pursuit. It is a nice rainy day here in Florida, and I'm going to tell you a secret about myself. When I was younger, I was a horse girl. Yeah, I grew up riding Western, and so I've made it a mission to ride horses in as many countries as I can. So this is me riding horses in 7 different countries, which is on 3 different continents. So yeah, 4 different continents. So without further ado, here we go. All right, so let's start with Costa Rica. It's the first place I ever went. So this was a really cool trip. I would say it was quite unique, maybe 7 out of 10, really cool. We got to ride the horses up through a ravine into a waterfall where we tied them up, and then we went down and swam in the waterfall and then rode them back. So that was really cool. Guide was awesome. His name was Linder, I think, and he was a younger guy. Really awesome. We did walk, trot, and we cantered up the ravine, which was really cool, because it was interesting how the horses were able to keep their footing on such treacherous terrain, whereas like in the States, a lot of horses have not been trained to do more than just like basic grass and hills. So yeah, I will say for the overall experience, this is a 7 out of 10. I did enjoy myself. It was quite a long time ago, so I don't remember it fully, but I do remember it was a really good experience. It was Colombia, and I went with my ex, and we did an advanced rider's ride through the Colombian mountains below Bogota. I have ridden horses my whole life. He had not, but he was willing to try it, so we did it, and it was really great. They have a specific kind of trot, but I can't remember what it's called. It's very small steps. Really interesting. They were quite fast, so it was really fun, and we were going through thick brush. Guide was really great. I really enjoyed myself on this ride, so I have to give it a 7.5 out of 10. My next one is Ireland. Ireland was a cool ride. The horses were Irish cobs, so it was a unique style of horse. The saddles were very similar to American saddles, so nothing much different there. The one thing that was interesting on the ride, though, was the horse in front of me. So I had a gelding, and then there was a mare and another gelding. The other gelding was jealous of my horse with his girlfriend, and he kept trying to fight my horse. But these guys are big, so like I just had to kind of hold on and try my best to handle the situation. But like at one point we jumped over the side and jumped over one of those rock walls on an Irish cob. It was crazy. But no, I really enjoyed the experience. The guide was awesome. Her name was Haley, and it was really cool. I really enjoyed them. And yeah, like I would say this experience was a solid 8.5 out of 10. You got to see a little bit of the rolling hills. You saw the cliffs of Moher at one point. We did a lot of the walking on something that was paved, so it wasn't super day tree, which is my preference, but that doesn't take away from the experience. I still really liked it. All right, Malta was okay. Like we did it kind of on a whim, so it was really interesting because the terrain was very barren. But we just walked, so like there was nothing really like insane about it. I did like it. I did have fun, but we had to wear these like bright yellow reflective vests, but we did get to see the water, and it was a cool ride. I wouldn't say it was just super unique or anything. It was just kind of run of the mill, but still really cool experience. I'm gonna rate it a 6 out of 10. All right, the next place that I went riding was the country of Georgia. This one was 10 out of 10, super unique, super interesting. Just a lot of stuff happened. So The saddles also are super unique. Like, Georgian saddles are really, really, really interesting. So this was a 2-day trip. So it was a camping trip. So we took the horses up through the Borjomi mountains. It was like dirt road and stuff, so it wasn't super in the nature, but that's okay because like the surrounding hills were beautiful and the leaves were changing a bit, so it was really, really pretty. So we got up there and we camped, and I was so cold. The tents froze over. I didn't sleep at all. Like, it was so cold. We had a fire, and it was just, I think because it was miserable overnight, made it such a unique experience. So then in the morning, we woke up and we took the horses back down, and it just feels kind of like a blur because I was just so cold and so tired. But I really, really enjoyed that experience. Sometimes I think the things that are hardest are more worth it. So yeah, no, really, really cool experience. And look at these saddles. Malawi, let's talk Malawi. I went out at Candy Beach on a horseback riding experience, which had 2 parts. They were like, it was really good and really not so good. And honestly, it's been a little traumatizing, and I need to get back on a horse because it's affected me. So we took the horses out, and my horse didn't have an in-between. It was either a walk or a full-on gallop, which was okay, except for the fact that it didn't like other horses. And so it was really difficult for me to stay in the back while they were trotting, and we couldn't gallop or we couldn't walk, and it just wasn't working. So I was able to try and get some of his energy out in a field, and we just galloped around. But then when the group went to gallop, so they split into 2 groups, a galloping group and a trotting group, my horse was not getting along with one of the other ones. So I was like, it'll be safer if I let them go because they were a bit more inexperienced, and I'll go with the walk, trot, canter group. So I went to go over there, and I was taking the horse, and we couldn't catch up because they were too far away. So I was like, let's just try a little trot. So we started galloping full force. I was like, this is not going to be good. So I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, we're coming, just to prepare them, because it just felt like we were going to run into them. So I'm pulling back towards my belly button, trying to stop him. Like, he's not listening. He's just like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. So the bridle actually broke, so I only had 1 rein. So I pulled the rein and went into the thicket with thorns and just held onto his neck until he stopped. Then I walked back out, and yeah, so I got on a little bit and we were fine, but he was just really antsy and rearing to go, and I had a broken bridle. So I ended up switching to a pony, which is the one you see in these videos, because we ended up going swimming in a lake. So the original horse I had was almost 16 hands, and then I switched to a 14-hand pony to go swimming with. So the swimming part was divine. I really enjoyed it. And it was really cool because the horses were having the time of their lives, and then they got to roll in the sand after. But I will say the guide was not helpful at all in dealing with the broken bridle or anything like that. I had to comment to him several times, like, hey, how do I fix this bridle? Like, I've never worked with this horse before. Like, what's the best way to work with him? So they decided just to walk him, and somebody stood in front of him, and I ended up on the pony. And it was just, I don't know. But it was a little traumatizing because that's the first time that I feel like I've had absolutely zero control. And it wasn't a good feeling. So yeah, got to get back into my own right with that. But Malawi, I would say 8 out of 10 for the swimming part. Would have been a 10 out of 10 if the bridle hadn't broke and we didn't go riding and the horse wasn't friends with any of the other horses. Finally, the last place I went horseback riding was when I was working at the elephant park in South Africa, and I went with some of the girls to the Plettenberg Game Reserve to see some of the elephants that had been released there, and we went by horseback. So it was like a horseback safari, which is really cool. I would say uniqueness level like 10 out of 10. Really cool experience. And I dropped my phone near the rhino. So we were riding horses and I dropped my phone, and the guide had to go and hide behind his horse and pick up my phone in case the rider's charged, which I thought was kind of mean because like if the rider's charged, the horse would get hit. But interesting experience. I don't think they took care of these horses super well, so like it kind of made me upset, but I didn't know that before I had gone on the ride. So this is your sign, if you do ride horses, to do some more research on where you're going and make sure they take care of the horses. But that was great. We just walked the whole time, which was nice after what happened in Malawi. I tried riding one of my friend's horses in South Africa as well, and she was a mare, so like my anxiety got to her and I was skittish. So I just really need a good horseback riding experience right now to get back on my feet and feel confident, because I used to do like barrel racing and rodeo and I felt so comfortable, and I'm so bummed about like being nervous to be on a horse now. So those are my 7 different countries that I've ridden in. And yeah. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. It means the world. Keep following my stuff. Can't believe I'm over 500 followers. That's amazing. Subscribers, whatever you call you guys. And yeah, I'm gonna keep posting and I'll see you next week. Alright, bye!